Folks, I just got through watching a couple of videos and reading a couple of articles regarding the 2020 election. And yes, they're already starting to handicap the 2020 presidential election. And as you can see here from the four pictures from left to right, it's going to be Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders, or Mike Pence with Tulsi Gabbard running as their vice presidents. Okay. Now, just for argument's sake, and let me get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way. For the 2020 election, Donald Trump will run for re-election unless, hopefully, he gets impeached or he decides to quit. That being said, Mike Pence, obviously, as vice president, takes over for him as president, and it would be Mike Pence who would run in the 2020 election for the Republicans. And I don't think even crazy-ass Ted Cruz would attempt to unseat him. And that also goes for the governor of Ohio, Kasich. Okay, and then you got Marco Rubio, those guys. But nobody is going to really try to unseat the president, especially that president being in their own party. So it'll either be Trump or Pence. Now, on the Democratic side, we got a whole different ball game here. And in my opinion, there are potentially 10 people who could potentially run on the Democratic side, and I'm not counting the Green Party or any of those other fringes, because I think they had their day in the sun in 2016, and for the sake of argument, I don't think that a third party is going to get anywhere near as close as what happened in 2016. So, in my opinion, and this is my fantasy, I've broken this thing down into three specific categories. The three categories are Democratic establishment candidates, Democratic justice candidates, and the in-between or compromise candidates. Let's start with the establishment candidates. When I say establishment, I mean candidates that are major fundraisers, people that go after corporate donations, people that basically really don't have a backbone and are, in my opinion, Republican light. Number one on the list, and the name that's been bandied about, is freshman Senator Kamala Harris out of California. Now, yeah, she's a freshman, just like former President Obama was, but she is already making overtures and has had basic fundraisers with Clinton donors, okay? Now, I got issues with her, and let me just do a little bit of housekeeping. Race, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't mean a damn thing to me. And just because she's black, big flipping deal, okay? And there are several candidates on here that are black, especially on the establishment side, that I really could give two whatevers about. But Harris is the new up-and-coming star in the Democratic Party, and she is firmly entrenching herself with the establishment wing of the party. Now, she was the former Attorney General out of the state of California, and she ran away with the election for her Senate seat. my issues with her are that she is in the pockets of the banks. I say that specifically because the Secretary of the Treasury under Mr. Donald Trump, Steve Mnuchin, owned a bank, One West Bank, out of California that should have been prosecuted to the kazoo. But because Mr. Mnuchin contributed about $200,000 to Miss Harris's Senate campaign, for some reason, he and his cronies were not prosecuted for multiple, I mean thousands of banking violations. So to me, that seemed to indicate that her hands may be a little full as far as the bucks coming in from the banking community and a few others. And the fact that she's already getting in bed with Clinton donors, that to me is a major turnoff. Number 2 on the list of the establishment candidates is Cory Booker out of New Jersey. Here's another guy who has his hands deep into corporate pockets. This guy raises or has raised tons of money from corporate donors. Okay, now he talked a good game earlier this year when he basically was a witness against Attorney General Jeff Sessions. But short of that, this guy, again, is Obama light, okay? He doesn't give speeches as well as Obama. He doesn't raise money quite to the level of Obama, but he's in that basic school. Number 3 on my list is, I think her first name is Kristen Gillibrand out of New York. All I need to tell you is she's a Hillary Clinton clone, okay? When Clinton became Secretary of State, Gillibrand was awarded the seat, which she subsequently kept by winning 2 additional elections. But again, she's another one that likes to raise a lot of corporate money. And as far as her record in Congress, it's really nothing to write home about. Now, number 4 is kind of a dark horse, okay? Michelle Obama is being bandied about. Her main claim to fame, obviously, First Lady. Country really, really likes her a lot. But as far as policies, things of that nature, I would be concerned that she would follow in the footsteps of her husband. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, Obama did, do certain things, but as far as being a bulldog and getting a lot of stuff done for the benefit of, and I'm going to call it minorities. Now, let me narrow it even further. Black people, he did absolutely nothing. He did plenty for the gays. He did plenty for the Hispanics. He even did quite a bit for immigrants, though he was nicknamed the Deporter-in-Chief. Now, Michelle Obama appears to be, in my opinion, a pretty strong woman, so she would have her own opinions about things. But at this point, we don't know what those opinions are. So that's how I have her as number 4. As far as raising money, there is no doubt that she and her husband would be able to raise a ton of corporate money, especially from Wall Street. Now, number 5, I call number 5 the field, because that's pretty much anybody else that I'm not thinking about. But heading the field would be Joe Biden. And, everybody likes, Uncle Joe, but, I'm not seeing him doing any better than any of the other 4 people that I mentioned. And his age may or may not be a factor. But again, a lot of people do like Joe Biden. Now, What do all of these people have in common? Every last one of them raises a lot of corporate money, or has the ability to raise a lot of corporate money, and they have star power to some degree. But none of the 5 people or the group that I mentioned are the most popular politician in the country. For that person, I have to jump over to the social justice Democrats. The number one social justice Democrat, well, I gotta preference that. The number one social justice person in the country and the most popular politician in the country is, ta-da, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders wipes the field. He kicks every last one of their butt if everything is on the up and up and not tilted to anybody in the establishment. Bernie Sanders, without a doubt, would be the number one contender and would kick Donald Trump's butt along with Mike Pence or any other Republican that you would stick up there. His ability to debate is vastly superior, again, to pretty much anybody out there. So Bernie Sanders is a given. Now, number 2 is one of Bernie Sanders' lieutenants, Nina Turner. Nina Turner has been going around the country giving various speeches and continuing to cultivate the grassroots of this country. And she specifically has gone into the areas such as the Rust Belt, the Appalachians. She's out of Ohio, so you know she's definitely there. But she's been up in Wisconsin and out in the Midwest. Now, I don't know if she's been to California, and I don't know if she's been down deep into the South yet, but I do know for a fact that she has been in the areas that I mentioned, and she also is up on social media with a weekly show interviewing various people, and also some of the speeches that she's given around the country are up on that particular website. So she is getting more and more attention. Now, between her and Sanders, obviously, I think she probably would step aside for Bernie Sanders without any issue. But if for some reason Sanders decided that he wasn't going to go for it, I think that she would step up to the plate and decide to run. And with Sanders' endorsement, I don't believe that funding would be a problem because of Sanders' ability to raise funds from everyday people like me and you. Now, the third person on the social justice list, as far as Democrats are concerned, would be Tulsi Gabbard. Now, she was known for bailing from the DNC when she indicated that Sanders was getting screwed. And she's currently a member of the House of Representatives out of Hawaii. And her name has been mentioned positively, again, within the social justice wing of the Democratic Party. But she would have to really get out there to get her name mentioned. But again, she does have a fairly decent record in the House of Representatives, and she doesn't have any, from what I've been able to discern, negative baggage. So those are the three from the social justice wing of the Democratic Party. Now, you have your in-betweens. The number one in-between candidate, who is also the second most popular politician in the country, is Elizabeth Warren. Now, there are issues with Elizabeth Warren as far as her supporting Hillary Clinton instead of Bernie Sanders. There are also issues where she is not out there on every social justice issue, and I'm speaking specifically about that situation up in North Dakota with the pipeline and the Native American people's rights being trampled on by an oil and pipeline company, and Donald Trump siding with the pipeline company and screwing the Native Americans. Okay, but she does push for social issues, and the banks hate her because they know if she gets in there, she will wear them out. So I stick her on the in-betweens. Number two, Al Franken. If you've been aware of any of the Judiciary Senate hearings, Al Franken is a straight talk, no bullshit kind of guy. And when he asks a question, he normally has the answer to it. And as far as cutting to the chase, in plain English, he's your guy. Now, I got some issues with him as well because I'm a little concerned about him on a bunch of these social issues, but he is not, as far as I can find, a heavy corporate donor recipient. So he, based on name recognition and his ability to basically cut to the chase, and I think he has superior, as a matter of fact, I'm sure he has superior debate skills. I place him number two. Number three, a senator from the same state as Mr. Franken. That would be Amy Klobuchar. Okay, those three, in my opinion, would be compromise candidates if the Democrats could not make a choice between an established candidate or a social justice candidate. Now, in my opinion, they're making a huge mistake if they don't pick a social justice candidate who can get out there and actually talk about the issues instead of how much they are against somebody, i.e. Mr. Trump. Sanders should have won the last one. I think if he runs against Trump or Pence, he wins this one if everybody gets on the bandwagon and supports this guy. I think Elizabeth Warren could beat Donald Trump. But to be honest with you, I don't think any of the establishment candidates, with possibly the exception of Michelle Obama, can beat Donald Trump. And I think the Obama name would be too much of an albatross around her neck and too much of a bullseye for white women in America to get behind her. So if you're looking to handicap the top contenders from each of the divisions, and I'll call them divisions, you got Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders. Sanders wipes the floor with them. The number twos would be Cory Booker, Al Franken, and Nina Turner. In that race, I think Al Franken probably comes away with it, just nipping out Nina Turner. Cory Booker coming in third. If you're looking at the third place, in my opinion, 3-on-3, Gillibrand, Klobuchar, and Gabbard. To me, that's a toss-up. I can't call that one. But overall, in my opinion, it's Bernie Sanders in a walkaway, both in the Democratic primaries and obviously in a race against either Trump or Pence. Folks, those are the names. There might be some dark horse that appears within the next couple of years, but you need to do your research and see what's going on and follow all of these people, or at least pick the top two in each division and follow them and see exactly who they are, what they're doing, and how much are they in it for us versus the corporations. And then come election day, you make your own call.